Hello everyone, this is Diane, and I am here with Hoppie the Hopper to say hello to you on the day before Thanksgiving. I'm not sure when you're going to see this video. I don't know if I'll load it today or tomorrow or the day after Thanksgiving, but happy Thanksgiving from Hoppie and me. I want to go through this journal with you. This is a really fun journal, and as you can see, it's brightly colored, hot pink and green and yellow, and it's just really fun. This is a vintage children's book called Hoppie the Hopper, and it's about this little grasshopper. And I do have pages to send with it. This was in really bad condition. It's from 1951 from Rand McNally. And you can see that front page is really bad, and it had holes cut all the way through, and there was a grasshopper on a plastic stick that as you turn the pages he would hop through the page and land on whatever image was on the next page. So that was really fun. And I included the grasshopper, and some of the pages that weren't quite so yucky looking I put into the book, but I'm going to send these in case you want to do something with them. So I use this elastic stretchy band to tie around it in the bright colors. And I patched up this cover that was in bad shape with, I did a video on it, but I put some gesso around it because it was quite dirty around him, and I used fabrics, and these little flowers are cut from fabric, and rickrack and things to dress it up and make it look pretty. And the back also, I had to add some gesso around it. I do not like the chalky feel of gesso, so I put some matte Mod Podge over it, and it feels nice and smooth. I put some corners, metal corners on the back, but I couldn't put them on the front because they wouldn't fit over the fabric. But the fabric covers up the corners. And I made this beautiful, fun charm. Well, it's a bunch of strings with beads strung on it. Really fun. Lots of bright colors and some shapes. Stars and hearts and candies and other shapes, beads. So let's take a look. Next week, after Thanksgiving, I'm going to get going on this one, and this will be done in the same style. I also had to add a layer of chipboard to the back of this book cover because it was bendy. I wanted to just, it felt very weak. So I put chipboard on it, and then I had to peel this end paper off of the original book cover, and it did tear in a couple of places, but I glued it down, and I wanted to include it. It has the map of Hoppie's travels, and he lands on all these places throughout the story, and I just added that KB and Friends piece. So I will tell you, I used images from vintage book pages, and I used sorry, I got a notification on my Fitbit. A lot of images from KB and Friends. I ordered various kits from KB and Friends. I will link the shop below. I don't want to spend too much time talking, so we'll just kind of flip through, and I'll do a little bit of narrating. This is a piece of fabric from a Dick and Jane fabric and a vintage trim. I had to build the pages out a little bit to make them fit. This is a stationery envelope, and this is a calendar for 1913 from the Columbia Wagon Company in Columbia, Pennsylvania. Wagons that sell well throughout the East. So that was a pretty cool piece of ephemera. I've had it for a long time. And I created a lot of tags, and this one has wallpaper as a background. So here's one of the pages I was able to use from the book, and there's the hole that was cut in it. So I put this little piece of orange polka dot paper behind it and the word today, and then the back side of the hole is covered with that fabric. Added this tag. This is a vintage canned carrot label. KB and Friends card. Some cotton trim there. This is wallpaper from one of my wallpaper books. and an image from a children's book. I covered the back of the wallpaper with this paper. This is from KB and Friends, and it folded over to make a pocket. And so I covered the white side of it with more papers. Added that and this Chicago transfer coupon, so I think it was for a train. It came with this little pile. A vintage greeting card with a wishing well. This is from a pattern catalog from the 1960s. Vintage flower right there. Cardstock that I folded up. So this page is pretty sturdy because it's already cardstock, and then it's doubled right here, and it has embellishments glued to it, and then things tucked in. So this book is kind of stiff in places because of all of that, but I think it's worth it. I've had this digital for a long time. Looks like it was made from a birthday card or some sort of a card. Not sure where I got it, I don't remember. Put some scrapbook paper that looks like ledger on the back, and this is a KB and Friends popcorn bag. I just cut a piece of leftover cardstock and glued those pieces to it. KB and Friends here. This is from one of my Victorian pieces that I have found. I made a copy of that. This is wrapping paper with that little girl on it. Very unique. And the back of it is waxy. It's got some kind of a coating on it. Got that at the flea market. Here's another page with a hole in it, and I put the word sunshine. And then covered the hole on this side with a stamped piece. There's a vintage label for homogenized milk, evaporated milk, sorry. There is a post-it note there, fold a note. Another page, and I just left the hole there. You can see Little Boy Blue, because I glued that little piece on the wrapping paper. This is a flashcard from KB and Friends, and this is a little image from KB and Friends. I just glued it to the bottom there. Thought it looked cute. This is a paper clip that I made with an ad. Business or residential. Give us a call today for the service that best suits you. I don't know what kind of service they were offering, but I put the paper clip here, and you can use it wherever you'd like throughout the book. Here's another vintage label for Royal Bouquet Face and Body Cooling Lotion. It's a foiled label. And the other side of the scrapbook paper with the pocket folded up. This large flashcard. This is, I don't think this is from KB and Friends, but I don't remember where I got it. Got a whole set of them. And then another tag made with wallpaper and various bits. And this is, oh, a ticket for Boston residents, Boston taxi, elderly program. So it was worth 50 cents from whenever that was. Seeing if I have my the little book of tickets here, but I don't see it right. Oh, here it is. Wondered if it had a date. I don't see a date, but this cost me a whole $1, this book of tickets. Isn't that cool? Then I did this cluster with a KB and Friends image and a couple of cardstock shapes, a little bit of fabric there. See the boy run. And this is a nursery rhyme page that was a digital, and this little journaling card. I have this fabric in my shop that I made this wide ruffle, and there's a green polka dot ruffle coming up that's also in the same bundle with that in the shop. My shop is linked below. This is another piece of fabric that I got at the flea market. Added some vintage trim and a little bit of washi here because this little edge had a little crack in it. And there's the other side of the wishing well card. This image came out of a children's book. I backed it with cardstock so it's nice and sturdy. And this is the other side of the wallpaper, and this makes for a very stiff page also. I added this paper to it and then this piece with the cardstock. And it's a really cute tuck spot. There's a lettuce flash card, digital, and this memo paper. There's a pig on the back and some geese. This is just a really funky wallpaper. These images are not from KB and Friends, but I can't remember. Some pretty trim there. This is a KB and Friends pocket, and this, and then these pieces are KB and Friends, and I just used a children's math textbook to make the backing of that tag. The center of these journals, the center signature is a kind of a folder with writing paper inside. So I did a video talking about how I made the folder. I will try to remember to link that video below. But I took a vintage sewing pattern and wrapped it around this piece of cardstock, which is actually the backing of a Courier and Ives calendar. This was the hanging tab for the calendar. If that sticks up too high, you can just cut that off. There is a tag I made for inside this pocket with an image from a children's book. And there's another frog there. And another label, vintage can label. And a greeting card with a fuzzy duck. 1950. This label did crack when I folded it. And so the papers I put in here are just colored paper, old ledger paper. This is from a really big ledger book that I found from a mutual, it's an insurance company ledger book. Bonded stationery, manuscript paper for music. This is a nursery rhyme book page, and it was scribbled on here. But I didn't want to cover her up, so you can collage on there if you want to. Some graph paper, just some small papers. Even a doily. There's the center. So all the same paper is going back. And the back side of the folder has this adorable pocket made with a vintage math flash card. I did a little stenciling on it. I don't know how close you can see. And added these fun little cutouts that I had and this gorgeous image from a children's book. I love that little bird. And this is a scrap of paper that I cut with my wavy cutter. And another digital piece. And this is a digital from KB and Friends. How fun is that? A tiny little colored flash card, play money, and a pink index card. And on the back is the other side of the sewing pattern envelope and another bird and a frog from that adorable book. And this is from KB and Friends. I glued that on. So I made another tag for this, and I put the tab on the wrong side. So it'll go in backwards, but there you go. You can write on that. Just a little stenciling and stamping on it. And then the final signature has another Dick and Jane fabric pocket of birds on the paper there. And I don't know what this is really, but I got it in a Happy Mail years ago. and it's going in your book, and you can write on the back. And another tag that I made. This is 1883 paper from a pocket appointment book, and a vintage birthday card. This flaps out, and there's a little space for writing there. This is an Amity Bloom paper. Got to put this back before I forget. I wanted the yellow side out. Okay, this is an Amity Bloom paper. I don't remember the line, but I thought it was really cute and appropriate for these journals with the storybook images. This is from a really old magazine from the 30s. A label for canned cherries. I love this embroidered piece of fabric there. I cut the greeting card open at the top so you can open it up and write on it. And I just put a dab of glue underneath that piece of ribbon so it wouldn't pull out, but it was adhered. I gave it a tiny, tiny little pull to see if it would move, and it didn't. But I put some glue there just to be sure. This is an image from a children's book with a dad and his kids playing outside with this house, and this house looks so similar on this flashcard. The same color roof and single-story suburban home. So I put that in here. Oh, you can, oh yeah, that's the one I said you can open up and write on. And this image went onto the back of this wallpaper. This is an image from that adorable book, and I just clipped it in there so you can use it wherever you'd like in the book. You could cut the lamb off and just have the little bear. This little mouse, thought he was perfect on this envelope with his long tail. I had to cut off the very tip of his tail. Simplicity is its own form of artistry. There's a stamp that I have. It's a digital. This is a 1970s lottery ticket on this wrapping paper. I like the colors of this. Pretty sure it's from the 70s, but I don't see a date. And play money. And a little brown jug syrup label. I left this hole there, and you can see the ukulele chord chart through it. I guess this is where Hoppie started from. That's his house. And then he's going to travel through the book. These ukulele book pages had these like black, it was the way it was printed, it wasn't printed well, so it's not like dirt or anything, but I'm just going to collage over mine in my book, so I figured that's what I would use this page for. And a fold a note, and this little card is from some sort of a game that I got in a Happy Mail. Hoppie's going to land right on that cheese on the mousetrap. And there's another little cluster made from a children's book illustration and some shapes. And here is a BB Bats label. It would wrap around the rectangular piece of vanilla taffy that was on a stick like a lollipop. Here's a label you can use somewhere in the book with a puppy on it. And this KB and Friends image you can use somewhere. And in this pocket is another flashcard. And this tag that was in my stash. Having an artistic blast. And another ticket. And here is the green polka dot fabric that I pleated, and a pickle bag with this tag. This image is from a 1930s magazine. Here's a fabric flip with this vintage juvenile fabric with the little girl riding a lamb. And here's Hoppie. That's his piece of plastic. And he was attached to the book back here, and then he just flipped onto each page as you turned it. And I attached him with a yellow brad, so he swings when you move the page. He's hopping around. This is an Amity Bloom page too. It's the other side of that childhood, this one. And this opens up, you can write on it. Got two labels right together here. This is that cherry label and evaporated milk. There's a fox image from the Amity Bloom paper. And on the back is another cluster that I made on a green index card. And this is a digital image. There's a peanuts bag, fresh roasted peanuts. I put this card or tag in there that I made. This is in one of my videos. The tag your next video. And then this is an advertisement from a 1930s magazine for Ked's shoes. Aren't they cool? And you can glue some paper to the back and write on it if you want to, or cut out the images and use it. And then the library pocket on the back has some more embroidered fabric, a digital image, a library card, a tag, and this KB and Friends image. I will put my signature on the back of one of these pieces. But there it is. Now, when will I list this journal? I don't know. So, because it's a holiday week and Black Friday, Thanksgiving, all that stuff. I don't do Black Friday, but I don't know if you guys do. So I just don't know when is the best time to list this journal. So I'm going to say that whenever this video goes up, the journal will be in the shop. Let's just say that. So yeah, I hope you like it, and I hope you'll come back to see Moppet. And I'm going to have fun making that. So thank you so much for watching, and pay a visit to my shop. I have some other things in the shop still. And I will see you in the next video. Have a creative day today. Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving.